Hey, what's up guys? My name is Kevin, also known as Brains, and I'm here back with another video. I woke up on absolute fire, I woke up in a particular mood, and I wanted to just set up the camera and speak to you guys. Today in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 short actionable steps of how to get whatever you want in life. One thing that's super important to know is that I can't promise you that you'll get anything out of life, but I know for me, I didn't know I was gonna be exposed to half the things that are actually happening in my life, and it's all due to a couple of things. One is believing. You have to believe that something better is coming. You have to have faith. If you don't have that kind of faith and you have a potential negative attitude, it's going to affect you in the long haul. And I'll explain a little bit more in a little bit in the video. But you know, the modern world isn't crazy enough to grant just anything you want out of people that are undeserving. So the number one thing is whatever you want out of life, it has to be modeled after somebody or something that already has what you want. So if you want to be a high-level executive and work on the 55th floor in New York City, you know, you have to model your life around that environment that allows you to get to that stage. Dress for the room that you want to be in. You have to act, you have to be, you have to have certain similarities and interests of that person. If you're a lot lazier, you don't care about a lot of things, and you just want to have like a 4-hour work week and just be on the beach and spend time with your family, spend time with your kids, spend time with loved ones, sip pina coladas on the beach, that's totally okay too. You just have to model your life to be in a more appropriate situation for that. So a couple things. Number one, definitely modeling yourself after somebody, but that also comes in with discipline. When it comes to discipline, what we see noticeably is a lot of these high-level executives that start climbing the ladder all have one thing in common. Their health is taken extremely seriously, and their health is directly correlated to how much energy they have throughout the day. So having good health means that you'll have more energy to get more work done than your other competitors, because that's how you need to be thinking about it. If you ever look at the top of a building and there's a light on and all the rest of the offices are off, you know that somebody in there is working and getting a competitive advantage over somebody else, because rather than fitting societal norms, the 99% or the 96% of society who may spend time over the weekends watching Netflix or going out to the bars or the clubs or doing something that doesn't actually matter or is contributing to their life, is the number one reason. So one, definitely your health, definitely your energy, definitely your discipline. You have to know what you want and stay focused on getting and completing short goals to getting there. Number two, the reason why you don't have what you want in life is because of 3 things. Either you don't have time, you don't have money, or you don't know how or have the resources to complete it. Finding time can also be correlated to whatever you put in your mouth, into your body through whether it's food or any kind of liquids, but it's also being organized and be like, okay, from this time, I'll wake up at 8, 9 a.m., get in a workout or get through emails or get organized before I start my day, or even organize the next day prior, the night before, so you know exactly what to tackle, what your structured list is. And a huge trick that I do is I'll write 5 things that I want to accomplish in that day, and I'll remove 2. So I'll have 3 main priorities of things that I want to do that day, and that makes sure that the number one thing that we are accomplishing are the most important and also the hardest thing. You want to do the hardest thing in the beginning of the day, because then after you finish all the hard stuff, you'll be able to knock the easier stuff, the less intimidating tasks out the way a lot easier. You know, I'm not saying that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and start 18 different side hustles. You have to emulate a lifestyle that works around you. I love working till 2, 3, 4 a.m. and I don't wake up until noon on my time. That's a schedule that works really well for me because, you know, no one's bothering me at 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. So I'm able to dive down on my tasks and get the most important things out of the way. Number 3 is access to information. A lot of people don't know, but I am a high school dropout. I had to drop out in the last 2-3 months before graduating. It's a quick story why I couldn't graduate. I was missing a lot of science credits. I was already pretty, you know, getting involved in entrepreneurship. I was already starting to make a little bit money because I've already been doing it for 2-3 years prior to that, just on like hobbies or trying to learn information. And I didn't want to do summer school. I didn't want to do another year. You know, I felt too embarrassed. I felt like there was so much more waiting for me. And instead I took my last $10,000 and flew and moved myself to across the country from Boston in the cold to sunny LA, where they'll chew you up and spit you dry. But those are learning lessons. Number one thing that I like to share with people about me is that although I am a high school dropout with no GED, I've still invested more into my education and my circle and network than I would have just going to any kind of university. And I wasn't able to do that instantly, but slowly I was able to see the value of connecting with higher level individuals, connecting with smarter people that knew more than me. You always want to be the dumbest in the room, because if you're ever the smartest, you want to get out of that room because there's not that much value that you can extract from them. When I was able to get into these high level rooms, my mind was absolutely blown at the type of level and content and information that was out there. So for example, I was in Miami a couple years back for my buddy's birthday, and we were at this crazy mansion and everyone was just huddling around. And one of the friends that were there, he goes up to his buddy and was like, "Hey, how's Yale going?" Yale is an Ivy League school, extremely hard to get into. And he says, "Couldn't tell you, because I haven't attended classes in the past 2.5 years. And now everyone around him is absolutely floored. They're like trying to understand and compute like, hey, if you're paying for Yale, or even if you got a scholarship or a full ride to Yale, why aren't you going? And the reason being is after everyone, picked up their jaws from their floor, he exposed to us that he actually hired a virtual assistant overseas that helps him with all of his classwork, all of his homework, and all of his test exam. Now this was during COVID, which was a little bit more easier and prominent for online schooling. But if this person was able to take online schools and hire somebody over internet for $3-4 an hour, he was able to not only impact and change that person's life, that person was motivated to study, take all proper notes, learn the material for them, sometimes even submit it for them. If that person's taking classes for 3 to 4 hours a day, that's only gonna be like less than $20 a day for that person to go to school for you. And that really opened my eyes, because he went to an Ivy League school and he obviously gamed the system. And that really opened my eyes to what the number one tool that he was using, and it's leverage. So he had access to information that people overseas are much more likely to do all the hard work and grunt work for you, and even for a fraction of what we would pay somebody here in the nation or wherever you're from. Leverage is extremely important, because he wasn't able to do and leverage a virtual assistant overseas to take his classes unless he knew that it was possible. Until you see your buddy make their first sale on an e-commerce platform like Shopify, until you see your buddy make, their first bit of profit on, leveraging stocks or whatever the case may be, you won't be able to have the proper confidence to move forward. So having the proper access to information and case studies of being like, hey, this guy Jordan was able to leverage a virtual assistant and put himself through Yale, would have saved my mom and my dad a lot of tears growing up, because they wanted me to become a lawyer, they wanted me to become a doctor, they wanted me to have a different lifestyle that I really wasn't up for. I knew that lifestyle wasn't going to be for me, because I had to subject myself to a lifestyle that I wouldn't thrive in, and that's extremely, extremely important, because I had to go against the norm. My parents couldn't give me the proper information that would lead me to the successes and the life that I wanted, so I had to go out and seek for new guidance and help. So since then, I've been seeking plenty of mentorships in various different fields that I'm interested. I'll find the top industry leader of that field. I'll pay them whatever they want for a call, a series of calls, mentorship, coaching, whatever the case may be. But I'm always learning. I'm always spinning the wheel, and I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to get smarter and trying to improve myself, because one big mistake that I made when I first made my first bit of money that you guys don't actually have to go through is when I was making a decent amount of money and I saved my first $10,000 to go to Los Angeles, I thought I was the shit. I thought I was the coolest. I thought I was the most amazing. And it wasn't, I didn't survive at least 8 months before, I made a mistake, or, the money stopped coming in as much as it really was. And it was a really good, humbling experience. But if I had access to the right financial literacy, if I had access to the right resources, I would have been able to avoid that situation completely. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to leave those with you guys on those 3 simple tips. Hopefully that brings a lot of clarity to what you need to do in your lifestyle. Maybe you're lacking in health, maybe you're lacking in wealth, maybe you're lacking in relationships. And those are basically the 3 main pillars that you want to have a happy lifestyle. You can't just have one, you can't just have 2. You need all 3 to be and maintain a happy lifestyle. And there's plenty of data and studies out there to support it, what your friend's social circle should look like, what your financial economic situation should look like, all these different things. We already have studies for them. It's just going out there and learning them. So if you guys learned anything from this, is 1, be more disciplined. 2, take care of your temple. And 3, go out and seek information. Be hungry for information. Go out and seek things that you're interested in. If you want to sell online, great, go sell online. If you want to open up a gym, great, go open up a gym, but make sure you guys are scouting out these people that you can learn from, because they already have plenty of arrows in their back, because they did this the bareback way. They did it without potentially mentorship. They did it and had all of these hardships growing their business, and you don't have to. You can skip that whole trial and tribulations by just going to them, writing them a check. Or if you don't have money, leverage credit. Credit is so easy to pick up and learn, and you can be able to leverage hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit if you know how. Maybe that's actually another video I'll make on this channel, is how to grow your credit profile, what's a good credit profile, and how to be able to borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars at 0% interest, so you can go out and make these personal advancements and investments into yourself. So my name is Kevin. Please, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the alerts notification bell thing, and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of this format? Are we doing a good job? That's it. Thank you. Goodbye.